Alright, so today's project, we're going to be building target stands. I got myself some half-inch AR500. I got a set of 4 gongs for probably about what you'd pay for one gong at either Academy or Walmart. And having seen the reviews and the action on some of the Walmart ones, pretty much if you shooting anything above a 9mm, probably not worth it. Anyway, so I had some fire hose laying around, 4-inch decommissioned fire hose, and instead of doing the long straps and bolting them up, I figured, hey, I'll just cut them off about the width of the target, bolt them in, run a 2x4 through them. Well, I've already tried a 2x4 fitting through this little gap, not nearly big enough. If you get it on there, there's going to be almost no swing to these, and pretty much defeat the purpose of hanging them, suspending them like this. Next option was some steel pipe that I had laying around. Now this will work, or it appears it's going to work. Unfortunately, when you slide it on there and you try to move it, I don't know if it's just the corrosion that's on this or the fact that this has got kind of a rubbery lining to it, but it seems to grip, and I'm not 100% on how well they're going to swing in use. I may have to step this down to maybe 1/2 inch or 3/4 inch black pipe. We'll see. I have this on hand, so we will try it, see what happens. One of the things we're going to do is, for the base for that, I've got these brake rotors. I think they're off of Expedition or Excursion. Got them laying around. I had no idea what I was going to do with them, so found this. I'm going to cut my 2x4 pipe here, or tubing. Weld a 6-inch vertical piece here. Boom, that'll be my upright support. And then at the top, I'll make a support that I can slip this pipe into and hang my targets from. Boom, it's all knocked down, transportable. The goal when I'm done is nothing that I'm having to load up in the car is going to be over 6 feet long. And I may have to even amend that and go even shorter. 6 feet might be pushing it for fitting everything in the trunk, but most everything else should be assembled, no tools required. At least that's the goal. I may end up, because I know that this tubing got roughly 1/4 to 1/2 inch of play on the 2x4 when you slip it in there. I may have to put like a thumb screw or something on it to tighten everything down and take some of the wiggle out. But again, my goal is transportable, no tool assembly. Also, I don't have one here, but the IPSCS, whatever, the torso target, you guys know which one I'm talking about. I want to get one of those. I don't have one currently, but since I'm already building target stands, I'm going to go ahead and build one I saw yesterday. The gentleman that built the one yesterday just used 2x4s. Not a terrible design, but I'm going to build the center portion out of my 2x4 tubing. Again, with the mind on transportability. Now, I think that you'll see the final design, but I think that the long piece on that one may end up having to be over 6 feet. We'll see how it goes together. And other than that, there's really not a whole lot to tell. I'm going to be cutting and welding for a bit. I'm going to spare you guys the details on that. There's plenty of fast forward videos of cutting, welding, making stuff. Go watch them if you're that interested in it. Pretty sure you're coming to this video for the final product. So let me go do some cutting and welding and grinding, and I'll see you in a few. Alright, so I figured I'd take a moment to show you guys the intermediate before I weld everything up. So I've got your basic H-brace. I'll be able to fit a 2x4 here and here, run them up. I can do my my paper targets. I have a single one here, so that if I want to do a single gong target, all I gotta do is put the top piece on it, and I'll be able to hang a gong off of that. Alright, moving down. This is the one for the torso target. Again, I can't remember the abbreviation. IPSCA? IPCSA? I don't know. You guys know which one I'm talking about, the torso target. Now, the angles on this, I was racking my brain. I'm like, compound angles, this, that, the other thing. I forgot to realize that once you set the main support, it'll already be sitting at an angle. so there's no need for an additional angle. I just cut these piece of diamond plate 30 degrees. Weld these in here. Oh hey, it stays. And then come in straight. I said straight on this, and same thing on the other side. It'll be braced up. And again, once that's sitting at an angle, I'll have my forward bracing from this as well. Triangulate itself, make a nice stable platform to shoot. Now over here, this is going to be the top for the gong hanger. This is what I'm going to use to plate the tops. I'll still have to put a bend on it, smooth the holes out and everything. I'm going to place a bend on it so I can put a spring-loaded gong on it, like a lot of the higher-end targets use. Half-inch hole. I have an annular cutter and a mag drill. Unfortunately, I don't have a sturdy enough platform, and every time I tried to drill into it, it was flexing the drill away from the hole, so it wasn't grabbing, it was just pushing everything away. So I got the plasma cutter, blew the hole out, took the annular cutter, made sure that it was at least a half-inch diameter. A couple of the holes look a little prettier than the others, but it's just going to be holding a spring and a bolt. Shouldn't be a big deal. Back here, I ended up notching this out for some channel or angle iron, set on a 45. That way my rod, my crossbar can sit in here. The goal is to weld this on here like that, put the bend in it, and then back here drill a hole, weld a nut, and then I'll have just a thumb screw to tighten down against my crossbar. Now I did find some half-inch pipe. I forgot I even had this. I don't remember what the heck I used it for, but it was sitting back in my steel pile, so that's going to be my crossbar now. And of course you can see the base for the crossbar. The cool thing about the way I'm doing this, and I think it's going to work out well, is by putting these top braces on here, not only does it give you a means to clamp the crossbar, but I can have individual gong targets, times 1, 2, 3, 4 if I get adventurous, and put one on each side. But gives you a variety of shooting options. Again, transportable. What the biggest dimension, or the biggest piece, is going to be the H brace, and that'll fit comfortably into the trunk. So we'll come back once we get everything ground, bent, and welded up. Alright, so as you see here, this is how it's designed to sit in here. This is what I was talking about earlier with the compound angles. I figure just keeping it straight on gives me enough forward once everything's together. Gives you enough leg forward to give it a nice stable bottom. I believe I mentioned earlier 6 feet is what I'm trying to keep everything under. This is actually a full 2x4, so 6 foot mark is about right here. I still have to come up with a hanger that'll fit on the end of this. Haven't fully figured that one out yet, but I'm sure it's going to be just 2x4 with one of the little brackets on it. The trusses here, they seem to work pretty good. Right now I don't see a need to reinforce it any further. We'll see how well my welds hold up, but I feel that by the time I put a target on here, it'll be well protected, hidden behind everything, so chances of impact on the actual structure are minimal. Give me a moment to get everything switched around. I'll show you the other one I got set up, and it'll use these same legs, at least temporarily. Again, this is just what I had laying around, so we'll see how we go with them. So the takedown on this is pretty simple. Lift it up. Voila. Alright, assembly on this is going to be pretty simple. Drop your 2x4 in the base. Get them lined up at least close to straight, I reckon. And you can see the V that I made in here. That's so you can put the spring-mounted gongs on it. Put that up there. Put that up there. Take your pipe, ordinarily this would be obviously further apart, so it'd be easier to slip it in, but we'll see what we do here. Basic assembly. Ooh. Might have to put some wing nuts or something on here to tighten this up. See how it goes the other way. Come on. Put some target on here. I like that. It bounces right back to upright position. Still has a little kick to it. And amazingly stable. I may shorten the legs for use on this one, but I'm happy with it. Alright, so here we are, about a week later after I started the video. Delays, working night shift, kind of sucks, don't have a whole lot of time, more motivation to do anything. But I was able to finish welding out everything. I did change the style for the primary uprights for the gong targets here. I'll get a close-up of that in a moment. I'm actually happy that my original plan of using a brake disc failed. Number one, kind of heavy. Number two, I'm really happy with what I ended up going with. So let me grab the camera real quick. I'll show you everything, show you the takedown setup real quick, and how quick and easy it is to interchange. I do plan on, when I do set these up or take them with me to set up, I do plan, excuse me, I do plan on taking enough lumber so I can set up multiple stages. The tank trap style support that I had mentioned earlier for the IPCA, again, torso target, whichever one that is, I ended up doubling that, so I've got two of those now, so I can set up the traditional sawhorse style with a 2x4 across. And I got some clothespins. I'm going to glue them so I can glue clay targets to it. The 2x4 will not work with the way I've got the fire hose set up here. It's just too big to fit through the holes, plain and simple. But overall, I'm very happy with how everything came out. And by all means, if you want to copy my design, modify it, whatever, knock yourself out. It's not trademarked, and now that it's publicly viewable, yeah, something like that, no one else can patent it either. So, enjoy. Alright, so as promised, here's a little closer up look. Again, I just made a little V-notch here for some 1/2-inch pipe. Runs through, run the fire hose through it. All my targets have a slightly forward angle, help prevent ricochets coming straight back at you. Did the tabs here, so if I choose to not hang these gongs, I can put a regular, just single gong on here and on the other one, spring, etc., and it'll work fine. Come on down 2x4. I didn't think about, or I didn't bother to put a screw or anything in here. Don't think I'm going to need it to keep this tight or keep it from affecting anything. But what I did do on the bottoms, and you'll see it on the rest of them as well, is I took a hammer and I just dinged that in just enough so that it pinches the 2x4. Doesn't have a whole lot of tension on it, but it is enough to prevent it from going all the way through and to cut down on the wobbling. Now while we're down here, you'll notice I got these little pieces of pipe sticking out on the bottom. Let me show you what that's all about here. Alright, let's take these. This is going to be fun. So this is the part that I was very excited about, the modification I made. I'll get a close-up here in a moment, but everything swivels 360 degrees. You can set the angles however you want to, just to accommodate the terrain. Slip the pipe on. Put it however you want to. Money. Best part is, it all folds up to under 12 inches. So closer look here. All it is just a basic flat washer, set in place, welded around it. Allows it 360-degree rotation. You can set them where you want to. As far as the angle on it, I just eyeballed it. Got a what was that, 6.5, 7-inch piece of bar stock. Bent it about 2 inches in. Cut that at 2 inches. Bam. Works nice and pretty. Again, folds up. Nice and neat for storage. Now the pipe, nothing special, just 1/2-inch ID pipe. Actually, it might be a little smaller, whatever. But slips right over it. Swing it where you want it. It allows you a little bit of variation for ground, or however you want to. If you got maybe some forward heavy targets, you can adjust it so you got better support. Now I had considered using it just like this without the pipe extensions on it. Unfortunately, as soon as you get above about 1 foot high on your vertical, there's just too much leverage on anything. I was not comfortable with it, so I went ahead and added the 1 foot pipe. Alright, just your basic H-frame stand. I did end up excuse me, I did end up putting the 3 post holders in here. These are, I believe it's 20 inches, sorry. The verticals are, I believe, 20 inches apart on center. Plenty of room, build your own frame, put your paper targets on it, do what you want to do. That's got the same indents on it at the bottom to support the 2x4 a little bit. These, I may just use the old trick of wedging some splinters down in there, or a small stick or what have you. The reason I put the third one in here is if I decide to, I just want to use it as a single gong target, I can do so. Gives me the slim profile of the 2x4, and that's actually just the same end from the gong target holder, only now I can screw it in, mount it, put it where I want to. Now I do have the option of doing that with those as well, but I'm not as confident in them, even with the 1 foot extensions, being able to hold up to the gong target. Now this is my favorite one that I built this week, simply because of the versatility of it and the ease of assembly. Now the other ones are pretty easy as well, but I think I had mentioned in the opening, I saw a gentleman who made one of these out of 2x4s. Seemed like a decent idea. I just didn't like how sketchy it looked. So there's your basic support. And similar to what is on the other ones, but this angle's different, and you'll notice that the bend is going opposite, or it's not coming off the top like the other ones were. Same pinch. Slide it down, bolt it up, target hangs. Your standard torso target should protect your main frame right there. If not, you can always adjust the height, adjust the angle on it. This is the other one that I was mentioning. You do have the option. Ow, there's a splinter. Slide it together, now you've got your traditional sawhorse. Don't have the other 2 pieces cut yet, so can't show you the full assembly. But again, my plan is to mount clothespins on here, clip in your little 10-cent clay targets, clay pigeons, possibly top and bottom. But I'm really happy with it. We'll see how it goes. And this is going to be the end of this video. I do plan on, next time we go shooting, bringing the targets out with me, bringing the cameras with me, and let you actually see them in action. However, that will be a separate video. You got some tips for getting splinters out, leave them below in the comments.